Alright everyone, this video is about pain. Specifically, it's about comparing the pain involved in the MSE install and in that first week of MSE turning toward the great split of the suture. I'm going to compare that pain to the pain involved in the tunnel bone graft that I did on May 29th, about 2 weeks ago, on my upper front teeth. Now, you would think that the bone graft, which is actually considered a surgery, it involves a scalpel, it involves significant disruption of the structures of the upper front teeth and the gums and the alveolar bone in that area. You would think that that would be more painful, more uncomfortable, more distressing than simply installing an orthodontic appliance. But that's not the case. The MSE install was, if I had to put a number on it, triple the pain of the tunnel graft that I did 2 weeks ago. And this completely surprised me. I was expecting the tunnel graft to be hell on earth. And for about 12 hours, it was pretty bad. It sucked. But the first 12 hours of MSE install was way worse than the first 12 hours even of the tunnel graft. Now granted, when I had the MSE installed, there was also a cortical puncture done of the mid-palatal suture. This means that Dr. Nuaz took his drill and drilled probably at least a half dozen holes with his dental drill. You know, the same dental drill that they use to drill into your teeth when filling cavities. You know, whee! You know what I'm talking about. Except instead of into your tooth, he did it right up into my maxilla. And he didn't just puncture little holes, he actually drilled in and fanned the drill to maximize the disruption of the suture, to ensure that the MSE would overcome the suture and actually split it. The pain from that was absolutely horrible. I mean, during the procedure, it was extremely distressful. Even though I was numb, it was hell. And then the day of that procedure, as I was driving from New York City back to north of Boston where I live, I was ready to pass out from the pain. I mean, I was curled up in the fetal position in the passenger seat of my father's car. And we had to pull over at one point so I could get up and pace from the pain. And I remember some car drove by us in like Connecticut somewhere, and he saw me pacing around looking like probably that I had just been tortured. And he said, "Are you guys okay?" And I remember looking at him and thinking, no, I'm not okay. But of course I nodded and said that I was, and he went his separate way. But that's how bad the MSE install was for me. And for 3 or 4 days after that, I had brutal headaches as I was turning the appliance, starting to turn the MSE screw, which applies pressure on the skull, right? You're literally splitting your skull open. You're splitting your skull in half with this little metal appliance. It's prying you in half. And you can actually feel it. It feels exactly like you would think it would feel. Okay, it feels like a combination of getting punched in the nose and having a wedge hammered into the middle of your skull, and feeling the pressure all over the face and even into the temples as that split occurs. Now, I know I'm probably scaring the hell out of you regarding MSE, but this isn't news. I did a video about this when it all happened. I guess what I really want the point of this video to be is that the bone graft, the tunnel graft, for anyone who may have had a failed AGA experience like I did and who may need to do a little grafting work, man, that was nothing compared to the MSE install. The pain that I had from the bone graft was zero during the procedure, although the procedure itself was 2 hours of distress as I felt him doing this scraping and cutting work on my upper front teeth. But there was no pain. I was very numb. And then after the procedure, the pain definitely creeped in for that first 12 hours. I took one hydroxycodone acetaminophen 300 milligram tablet that night before bed, passed out, woke up, no more pain. That was it. The last experience of pain that I had related to my tunnel graft was the night of the procedure at about 11 p.m. when I woke up and took that pain pill. In the subsequent days that followed, yeah, I swelled. I swelled a lot right in here. I puffed up like a beluga fish, but there was no pain. There was no pain. So don't be afraid of the bone graft if you have to do it. It's a mere flesh wound. It's a mere flesh wound compared to the MSE, which is a bone-level, brute beast, compared to a mere flesh wound, which was the bone graft. So I hope actually what this is it's a word of caution to anyone who's going to have the MSE installed. Don't underestimate that. Set yourself up for being comfortable on the way home and for the rest of that night. But it's also a word of encouragement for anyone who's about to have a tunnel graft potentially done for AGA correction. It's not so bad. You'll get through it. 3-4 days of swelling, minimal pain. If your situation is worse than mine, you'll have a little bit of pain. Pop those meds and ship it. So I hope that is encouraging. All right, everyone. That's it for now. Peace.